Right, I'm just going to show you a quick example, just how you can cover yourself really if you're doing the correct score. So, obviously a bit early on these games because they don't start well tonight, well about 8 o'clock, but I just want to show you this quick example of what you could do. So, today we're doing the Bristol City Man City game tonight. We've got Man City as a strong, very strong favourite at 119. I mean, if you had a bet on this and then winning, let's say you had £50, you're looking at about £9.50. If it's a draw, you're screwed. And if Bristol City were to win, then you're screwed again. But yeah, £9.50. It's not bad, but it's a £50 liability. But, as we know, or as you all know, I'm sure a lot of you know how to do the correct scores. So I'll just show you another kind of like little insurance kind of thing. Well, then first, we're going to be favouriting Man City, by where the odds are and what the bookies are thinking. So they also think it's going to be over 2.5 goals. And when we look at the over 3.5, it's pretty even on that as well. So it could be quite a high scoring game, this, for Man City. I mean, they did do, I think the other day, they did do a 4-1, didn't they? Yeah. Look at correct scores, and what we'll do is we'll have a look at the correct scores. And obviously on this one, we'd be favouring Man City. Yeah, we'll start off at 2-0 because they think it's going to be a nice scoring game. So we'll start at 2-0. Let's just say 0-2, 0-3, and then we'll go for a 1-2, 1-3, and I think we'll go for the any other because they could score quite high on this one. I'll put it down as a Dutch just to save messing about at the moment, so I'll put £50 in. Yep, so we've got that. I mean, you're looking at more than you were. It were £9.50, if you remember, on the just backing them straight. I mean, obviously that doesn't matter what the score is, provided they win. This one, you've more got to get the pinpoint the scores, but still you're getting a lot more out rate. And you can move your money on as well, which we've done in a lot of other correct scores. So, such as if you get this one, if it comes in, if it's 0-2, and these have dropped, and then you can move some of your profit across to the next scoreline, and so on and so on. So we do that. But the thing I'm looking at here is it's always a possibility. It's always a possibility that it could go to just 0-1. It could even be 0-0. You know what I mean? If Bristol really hold on, you know what I mean? It's happened. Obviously, I do cover yourselves on these because if you start putting more money in, you're getting more liability and you're getting less on other scores. So, but what you can do, if you just want to cover yourself, if you're thinking it could possibly be like 0-0, then what you could do is just put a little bit in, like, I don't know, let's have a look, 150, 4. You're just putting about £1.50 in on that, which doesn't put your liability up much at all. It just gives you a scratch trade if it is 0-0. You can also do the 0-1 if you think it could happen with that. So you could put about, let's say, what is that? 4.6, 4, and we'll take this one back up a bit. It's not too bad. So you can mess about with these prices. I mean, I've got 160 and £4.40 in. Again, it's only taking me a liability up by about £5, but it's covering me if the games were to end 0-0 or 0-1. You know what I mean? I mean, you still actually gain some out rate. We call it scratch trade when you're putting this much in, but still, you gain a little bit out rate. And again, if you want to, it's possible that if this carried on, if any, because this will keep coming down when it's a strong favourite like it is. This 0-1 will start to come down. So if this got to a certain point where it come down to, say, like, I don't know, just 3, if it were really late in game, then you could lay some off, and it'd move it onto the next score line. So you could kind of put yourself a scratch trade on this, or a small loss. I mean, just see if I can do it to give you an idea. See if it'll let me do it this way. So say these come down to about a 3. What could we put in? Could put 4. Yeah, you could take about a 4 off. Leave yourself, you know what I mean, some liability. And 3. You don't move much off if it comes down to odds of 3. And just give yourself that. If you think the game's strong and they're gonna score again, it puts you more onto that. Puts you more onto the 0-3. And it puts you more onto the 1-3 and 1-2. So you can that way. I mean, if it goes down any more, then you're even better off. You know what I mean? If it goes down to, let's say 2, then again you could move it across. Depends what you want to do. Quite a lot across. So there's quite a few ways you can do it. But this method, it just, you know what I mean? I think this game's going to be high scoring, but just as an example, if you wanted to cover the 0-0, 0-1, just, you know what I mean, just so you weren't losing obviously £50, it'll move it across here a little bit. So I think the most likely scores on this one are going to be over 2.5, I think. So 0-3, 1-3, and then obviously we're covering this one. And like I say, you can move your prices about. You can add more on, take more off, do what you want. I mean, all you have to do is come across here and just change these. And if you want to favour more the 0-3, 1-2, 1-3, I mean, you can see how it works. You can have a look. Take that down to 7. And that leaves us more on the 0-3. Take it down to 6. Took it down to 6, it'd leave us like a scratch trade again on 0-2. And it'll put more on 0-3 and the other score lines. 650, you can move it again. Don't give much on that, but it gives you more on the score lines again. So it just depends how you want to work it. I mean, you can keep altering these. I mean, these might alter a little bit now. Yeah. So I mean, 58p loss is not a bad thing if you want to just cover yourself on that, and it moves more money across onto these again. So yeah, just have a play around with you know what I mean, with your correct scores and how much you're putting in. You don't have to completely dutch them or put the same amount in. You can move them about and favour other score lines. If you think it's really going to be quite high scoring and you're favouring this one, I mean, you can always put a lot more into this. See how it alters the other ones. I mean, it's not too bad, really. So, yeah, you can just move them out, take a bit more money out. And you can do that while games in play as well. So, yeah, I think that gives you a better idea what you can do, because you don't have to put your set prices in. You can put smaller amounts on your first few just to cover you a little bit. Depending on how you think the game's going to go, just have a look on flash scores or just get a rough idea. Or come across to our Patreon, like I always say, because I do put stats out to give you a better idea. Works out on past performance and league tables and everything. So come across to that if you want. And I do try to put them out every day, or I put them out for a week, and then I put some weekend ones on, and it gives you a better idea what teams are going to be better for the under 2.5 and correct scores and so on. So yeah, I'll leave it that for now. Like I say, have a little go at this and play around with these, and if you fancy it, go try covering yourself on the first few scorelines. You don't even have to do it on 0-0 or 0-1. You can do it on these. You can take these away. If you think they're definitely going to bring some goals in, you can take those off, and you can just move these scorelines up a little bit. You can take more off, like we did before. Take some off the 0-2, which is that one. Let's take it down to 6 and have a look. Take it down to £3. What if we do it at 5? 5.50. So you could do it at 5.50, put more at the rest of the scorelines, and it just covers you on this area. If you think that they're definitely going to get, a couple of goals in. So, yeah, there's different ways you can do it. So, I'll leave it at that for now. Anyway, just thought I'd put this one in for today, just to kind of help a little bit again. So, I'll leave it at that.